Welcome back to another episode of Net Talk. Another week. We're back. I'm Alex.
I'm Mitch.
And we're talking volleyball again. I don't know why I was going to change it.
I'm talking net. You should have just.
No, that's too far gone. That's aged. That's dated.
Okay, sure.
We're back. There's heaps going on. We're now a week into the finals series. So semi-finals are set.
Yep.
There were a lot of actually really good matches. I mean, there was a few 3-1ings,
Did any go to 5?
The women,
On the women's.
One of the women's we'll talk about because that was a really good game that I looked across the barriers to see.
I was there present for the 5th set, really.
Yeah,
I saw the
'cause
rest of it in
went
distance.
Nice.
Yeah.
But we'll start with just how the week's been.
Yeah, how's your week going?
It's been all right.
I was going to say going, but it's like Thursday.
Yeah, we're at the end of the week again. We've pushed it back.
Yeah, we recorded earlier in the week once. And then we were like, oh, back to Thursdays. Whoopsie.
It's good because it means we get on top of the news, on top of breaking
means-
news that we're going to break in
Just a second.
minute.
Yeah, but like you guys do get the most up-to-date and we just forget everything that happened on the weekend.
Yeah. It's like 50-50. You either remember what's happened recently or we go, did we talk about that last week? Or
Which we
no?
just did.
Yeah. A sleigh. Finals form haircut is what
good.
I'm calling it. You know, the refresh.
I still think you should have gone for the team special buzz cut.
Yeah.
Our Renegades team, for whatever reason, we've just decided. I say we. I'm not doing it.
The hairdresser said it could maybe work out. You don't know until you try, and I'm not willing to try.
You just got to put the ball cap on and see if it somewhat makes sense, and then be like,
I don't have enough time to bring back the finals form mustache though with it. Because I think that's what Mike Shrillo's been telling me is the last time I played good in the finals. You know,
You had a mustache.
I had the short sides and mustache.
That is true. Yeah, you really,
Maybe bring it back, but I'm just hoping this gets one of my under 19s to realise that I'm not 30.
impossible.
Bring me back younger.
You need to play like you're not 30. How about that?
Oof. That's a tough ask. Maybe I've got one game in me of a semi-final.
Please,
See.
it would be great. It would seriously be good.
A shame for the week. This is a shame from last weekend, and then also I'm just doing the same thing again. So I'm shaming myself, but also preemptively letting everyone know I'm doing it twice. I'm not a very good supporter for the club.
Yeah,
Actually, I watched enough of the P2 guys. Were in their preliminary final.
at like 10:30.
Yeah, and then I left to go get lunch, but they were winning by heaps. But then I think it's your shame for the Premier 2 women's game running very, very late.
It was very late.
I did not stay.
That's fair enough.
And we're
'Cause
now
when did you get to the stadium that morning?
8:30.
Yeah, didn't your game start at 8:30?
Yeah, the juniors. Oh, sorry, I got there at 8 a.m.
I was like, imagine you would rock up.
The coach
on
rolls
time.
in and goes, "How'd hitting warm up go? Were you looking okay?"
Who's feeling good?
Yeah. But I left early. I probably could have stayed, but it was
No,
just
it's
getting
fair.
so late and
No,
so tired.
it's
And they were fine.
We won. We won in 5.
I've not learned because we've got a lot of the top Renegade sides have made it through to semis. I'm not hanging around.
Well,
This week I can't.
you're gonna have to though.
No, I've got a concert, so I have to leave.
But your
at
game's at
4:30.
2:30.
Yeah, but then the P2 men are at 4:30 and the
Yeah.
P2 women are at 6:30, and I will be leaving at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock ish.
What if our game is late and we have to play 5? What are you gonna do?
Our game's not going to go for 3 hours.
Hey, the women's game went for 3 hours.
All right, if our game goes for 3 hours, we're either doing something really right or really wrong.
The last time we played Heidelberg in a final,
The game finished at 10 p.m.
The game
but
also went for like 3 hours.
Yeah,
It's
but it
highly
also
likely.
started so much later. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. I actually hadn't looked at what time our game was going to be, but I bought tickets to this concert a year ago. So,
Nice.
and then you see it in the calendar, you pop up with a mate and he goes, that's this Saturday night.
And you're
I was
like, oh, not like
so
this.
I'll either be drinking some sorrows or partying the night away,
Love that for you.
even though there is one more week afterwards that we have to play. How was your sleigh and shame?
Slay P2 women won their quarterfinal in what was a really high quality epic 5-setter. Problem was we started at about 7:30.
Yeah.
And we finished at 10:20. So it was almost 3 hours. So that was the shame, was that we finished at 10:20 p.m. It was late. The double shame for that is that we have the 6:30 round again this weekend. And I'm not happy about it, but
Happens.
whatever. Like, it is what it is. I get it. But yeah, that's
That was
it.
trading sets in that game Because it was one
Nah,
all, I
it
think, when I
was-
left. Or
they
were you-
took 1, we took
The next.
2 and 3, they took
Yeah,
4.
I think I left in
and
the
then we
middle
took 5. Yeah.
took it in the middle of 3.
But
It was a pretty good game.
it was, and I've watched a lot of P2 women's this year. It was definitely one of the better games I've seen from that division in quite a while.
Yeah.
It was just, yeah.
It's been really good to see the quality of these preliminary finals because some years it's like a bit one-sided, but I guess it is the benefit of 4v6 is...
Well, a quick,
3v6 and 4v5.
well, a
Just
quick
get that.
side note, in both P2 men and women, most of the lower seeds end up winning. And
Yeah.
this is going back to our conversation we have a lot off air is like how valuable is 1v8, 2v7, all that sort of stuff. But on the men's and women's side, the 7th seed won against the 2nd seed on both. Quite convincingly as well.
Yeah.
And I think on the men and women's side as well, both 6 seeds won.
Because first and second didn't get a double chance.
Yeah,
In the
but-
second in P2.
on both men and women's sides, 1v8 wins, which like you would expect. And then everything after that was up for grabs, which is why I personally do like the 1 through 8 quarterfinal structure. Do you get the same look in P1? Maybe not, but like you never know.
You never know.
Some big news though,
But breaking news. Well, it's breaking for us right now.
because it was legitimately like an hour ago.
day old news for you. And it's amazing. It's really, really good that Oz Volley has made a deal with KO for broadcasting for the next year.
Yeah,
For
ABS.
MAVSL and also the Australian Beach National Tour,
yeah.
which is really good. The Beach National Tour is like the 4 events, the 4 National Tour events, and Manly might be the 5th, like that big national championships. I was like, I wonder if they could package in some futures events into that, but I don't know if they would get those rights because they're
VBTV.
VBTV.
But we believe, and we don't know a lot of the details around this deal. We only know what everyone else knows is that it's happening. I've asked some questions to some
insider
relevant
info.
people about like, we do know that they are doing every game for MAVSL, which is massive.
win.
It's a huge win. And I don't know how they've scored that, but it's one of the biggest wins in AVL that I can remember.
Means it's 8 games a weekend that you can watch on
All on the
broadcast.
same platform. And KO, like, you know, KO is a lot better than SBS. And we were talking about this in the Discord and I looked at some facts. So SBS has around 1.8 million users. This is SBS On Demand, not just SBS, because SBS is massive. But SBS On Demand in Australia has 1.8 million monthly users. Now, SBS On Demand is not just sport. It's a lot of TV.
Rubbish.
And, a lot of shit. KO is just sport. And that's at 1.4 million users. And that's paid as well. KO doesn't have a free version, unfortunately, which is maybe a slight step back. But I don't think it is because I think KO is, if you're a sport, a growing sport, I think that's where you want to be. I think that's really where...
Because you do get to piggyback. I was saying, I wonder how many new volleyball users will buy KO, but I think enough volleyball people will already maybe have KO because it's packaged with Foxtel or
not
Telstra
footy.
and stuff. But people will have it because they're watching AFL. They're watching...
Oh, yeah, it is on it. Yeah,
AFL.
That's right, yeah.
AFL's on KO.
I thought I made that
other
up.
stuff as well. Yeah, some of the games are free to air.
NBA?
But finals, like AFL games, some are on Channel 7, but some
Yes.
are Foxtel exclusives or KO exclusives.
Yep.
NBA's on there too. NFL's on there, which is why I watch it.
Yeah.
I watch it. I have a free plan though. I just use my brother's.
I was like, oh, okay.
That's not a bad hack.
You know
it's
what's
a pretty
fun?
good life hack.
I use my housemates.
I mean, allegedly.
Sure.
I don't know KO's stance.
You can't
on
say
stream
allegedly
sharing.
when you just admitted it.
Allegedly.
Okay, sure. But it's. I think this could be one of the biggest wins in high level volleyball in Australia for quite some time. Now, the big question on everyone's mind is, can we maybe play regular volleyball now in MAVSL? Beach is fine. You guys have never had to bend the rules for the
Beach.
broadcasting time.
Yeah, it has a bit more viewership and
It does have a bit more viewership.
because it's just been existing. Like they get finals on actual TV broadcasting.
Yeah. So now the question is, because the rumor was sort of half confirmed, and it was sort of speculated that like the power plays and the shorter format was due to broadcasting limitations, which that's a fair enough
the cost
It's a fair enough like reason to make some changes to the game. Do those limitations still exist with KO? I would assume not because of just the other types of sports that are on KO. And it's on demand.
Yeah.
Which is funny because SBS is also on demand.
Yeah.
But like...
We'll see as well, as someone that uses KO, if it improves the quality of the streaming experience, maybe standardizes the broadcasting because maybe they have better connections between states. So there's not so much variation between camera people.
Yeah, well, that was the feedback from a whole organisation last year, was that some states did it really well because they've got the resources to go and throw at it, and other states didn't because they just don't and they just couldn't. And like that's just the reality of when you have all these different organisations running and trying to do the same product. We do know KO is running the whole thing in every state, which is huge. It's really good news. And I think I hope that if this year goes well from a KO point of view, like if they view this and they go, oh yeah, that was a good product to have on KO, if that continues in following years. I think that would be a big step forward for the whole sport. My personal opinion is that we play best of 5 and 25 points and all these kind of things. But that's an interesting debate to have. But big news, really big news.
Yes. I was like, it's been amazing. No, it would just be incredible. You know, it'll be so exciting to watch, and it'll be good for everyone to watch now 8 games rather than only
the select few.
The select few on SBS On Demand and the others being just streamed to YouTube, but there's pretty big gaps. Now it'll all, hopefully, the quality of the product improves. Well, I mean, the quality of the streaming product improves, and then we can
work on the volleyball.
We can discuss
eventually.
if the volleyball side of the product is matching up. Which a few teams, based on their rosters, the volleyball product is
going to be there
coming out of Queensland. That volleyball product, where I can't wait to talk about their teams because
both of their teams.
Stacked.
I saw the rosters, and now that I'm involved in the coaching side of it, there's a lot of discussion of the rosters.
Yeah, I mean, is the discussion that Queensland has the best 20 volleyball players in the country all on their team?
Pretty close to that.
No, you can't say that.
No, I can't officially. Nah, I can't. We can admit they've got some serious talent over there. Yeah. Are they unstoppable? No, of course not. Mm-hmm. But are they scary? And they're going to look very refined. And, you know, Queensland is a franchise that is known to regularly be like that. So it's nothing super surprising. But I think this year is one of those years where it's like, I looked at that roster and I remember thinking like, oh, this is like old school Pirates is back, where the starting 6 is essentially an Oz team.
Yeah. I wonder how it'll be. Maybe this is just like availability of players. You know, now that it's a KO deal, you reckon there's some pressures that, hey, your best players
Queensland
need to actually
knew about
play?
It first. And they're like, all these players need to come play.
Because like last year, we maybe underestimated Queensland because they didn't have their best 6 available in any of the regular season rounds, I would arguably say. And then for them to just storm through finals on both the men's and women's, it's because everyone's there playing. Yeah. So I wonder, you know, maybe
something similar here.
Yeah, maybe you say, come on, play every regular season round.
But in saying that, we haven't seen every team's roster. There's every chance that other rosters could be as good or better. We've seen some.
Yeah. We can take you around the country now, as this is probably the only time you can get a peek into what other teams' AVL teams may be, because you can now finally watch sort of highlight. Well, I mean, you can always find them. People are now streaming games more than ever, but it's now getting to finals time around Australia. So like the SA League just finished. They had a great finals broadcast with Austral winning with a few AVL talents there, like Charlie Disbury there. Playing for Austral. I can't remember who they beat.
They beat oh my God, what's it called? It's the mountain team.
Yeah, that's right.
I'll find it. I'll pull it up.
Harry Pay playing for them as well. Like Austral's a pretty solid team, so you get to see a couple of the people that might poke their head out at AVL, taking you elsewhere to the series that haven't finished yet. We've got in WA,
Mount Lofty.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
And then on the women's side, it was, where is it?
Yeah, I didn't have that one saved.
SA
That's my fault.
SA posts a lot.
Yeah, they've got
like
their
it.
media down.
I really like it. It was South Panthers versus UC Lion.
Yeah.
And I believe
One of
UC
them
Lion, they have the Jarvis
yeah.
sisters and
Reeves
as well. Yeah. So I think USC Lion end up winning that one. I think.
You can probably pull it up for me and peek to WA because the finals. I was looking at the men's side for this one because it's got all the AVL names on the same team. Checkers, surely favourites for that one with Jose, Kai Landers, Dylan Wood. They didn't post who they're playing on their Instagram.
No,
on the
they
Checkers
didn't.
Volleyball, it just said grand final this Saturday, and I went, "Oh, who playing?"
I know who their prelim final was against, but I don't
Yeah.
know who the main final was
Yeah.
against. I thought I might have seen it was like Reds. They have a team over there, also Reds. I think it might have been them. And then I think it's the same on the women's because the women's checkers team also went through. So it's them versus someone else. I really couldn't find.
And then another final this weekend, grand final, was in New South Wales, which I had just seen from individual players' stories. That it's
The Garrettses.
brothers.
The Garrettses. I like it.
They're them and a few other talents there. I think I can't remember if Jack Kroll's on that team or another team, but a few names that you'll see pop around. Surely for them.
Is this where we say, and this is how I've observed KO with other sports, in the sense that, especially with their netball, they started doing their like super netball league. And since that got really popular, KO does like the more regional based netball stuff. It's smaller and it's harder to find.
They could potentially.
So it's like, in a few years' time,
you might be getting state league finals on KO,
KO.
as well. And if volleyball in Australia can ever get to the stage where KO does it mainly for like NFL or NBA, where they do, and I think they might even do it for NBL, where you get a little bit of a season preview, like 5-minute video. That'd be their marketing department. So we'd see if Oz Volley could whip one together. But for each team, so you can actually see where players have been and
what they're up to, what they're doing,
like results. So you get a bit of a season preview, which like other leagues do because volleyball has preseason tournaments. Professional leagues have preseason tournaments, so that's where you figure
preseason cups, mid-season cups.
Versus other sports, you just go straight into a season. So they try and give people the preview of what's been happening.
But just food for thought. Food for thought, like. That's how big this KO deal is. It's like if it works well, if it gets us off the ground, it's a good opportunity to filter it down to state organizations. If it works really well, add that next level of professionalism. And then you add things like stats every game and lead. The possibilities go nuts.
Yeah. It's just a big promise of what it can go to. Because now you can start being a bit more on top of Australian volleyball.
And then there's fantasy volleyball, Alex. And then we can go and...
When do they get a gambling partner?
Yeah.
I want to gamble.
Everyone in the Discord's already made that
Everyone
joke.
was
As
like,
soon as it was on
"Sports bet."
K-On, it's like sports bet.
Yeah, you need your Bet365 ads in
so
between each
Australian.
break. I wonder if it'll be advertised, if KO will include their own advertisements. It's
They
always
probably
an
will.
interest about what the back end deal is.
I think it is-
what the split is and stuff like.
I think it's good for KO and for us if they do have sponsorships involved, and if VA can get volleyball, like the sponsors and partnerships for AVSL can go through KO as well, which I'm sure there's some sort of deal going on.
Yeah, Mahindra is still a name brand sponsor of the league.
Yeah.
So that's obviously something KO's
I think Scape
integrated
is still
into
in
it.
there as well.
Yeah.
and-
So they've obviously integrated their existing sponsors.
So time will tell. But moving into the localized Victoria, we
Yeah.
had the quarterfinals.
The prelim.
Try it again. I just say prelim finals.
whispered to myself.
It's a much easier.
Nah, you got to say full words.
Nah, I can't. I just can't. We'll start with the men.
We'll start with the men's side, which was broadcasted day long on the VV YouTube channel. With the early games had no commentary though.
They couldn't.
Correct?
They had audio problems. I was
Yes.
told. And this, I was also told that they planned for it all week. They tested it, worked beautifully, and then got to the day, and then everything just went to shit. And that's just sometimes like what happens. So
Because I had a little rewatch, but I didn't hear commentary. But then
but it was there, and then
later on.
I think
Yeah.
midway through the Yarra Eastside game, they managed to figure it out. And,
Yeah.
and yeah.
But our 1v2 match opened us up at 12:30, Heidelberg versus Monash. This was a 3-1 Heidelberg win. It was close, but it was still felt a bit one-sided.
And it still felt like Heidelberg weren't bothering with their pick.
But here is the defense of this. Like, Heidelberg was a bit just nonchalant. They were just fine. Monash wins that third set. And then it went 27-25 in the fourth.
I actually think, and this is going to be a very, very specific criticism that I may get flack for, but I'm going to say it anyways because it was exactly what I noticed. Monash had, I think it was 24-22 up and set pipe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And it was just like, in that situation, I completely think that was not the set to make.
Yeah.
Even though that was to one of their main players, it's kind of like, I think you got to that point using everyone. I think that's just the time. And it was like 3 errors in a row. And then it was like 24 all. And I was like, oh, I think you could have done it. But yeah, I do think, and this is what we spoke about last week, like Heidelberg had these lulls that you can take advantage of. But if you don't and that time runs out, it's all over.
Because that's like sort of what happened over the first 2 sets. Heidelberg was still strong. They were pushing through. They're just so fundamentally clean. And Monash couldn't really capitalise on it. There was a few too many hitting errors, a few too many just negative swings into blocks that just happened. And they turned it around in bits in that third set, but it just felt uncomfortable. But they're in a fines. I think they might be slightly more confident. Based on how their last matchups have gone, their round 18 matchup was also a 3-1, but it was a very different feeling 3-1 as a watcher. As someone that, like, I don't get to experience what you're experiencing on court, the decision-making you're making, but I think they're maybe feeling slightly better that they know now, like, they can get it done. This game also theoretically doesn't matter. You've got to get over that mental roadblock. The only thing it influences is who you played. If you played 3 or 4, like in the winner of 3 and 6 or the winner of 4v5, which for these teams, they're matching up the same.
Yeah, I wonder. This is an interesting conversation because obviously no one wants to match up with Heidelberg. Annoyingly, we are going to match up with Heidelberg. Yeah, but from Monash's point of view, would they have rather match up with us or Yarra? I couldn't tell you which they would rather, but I could say we would rather Monash.
I think they go in with the same mindset like that I'd recommend you go in, where you don't ever try and finagle it. No. You don't ever bother.
But
you just play whoever's in front of you.
Well, if they had won that match, they would have lined up against us.
Yeah.
And it's just like, well, obviously you want to win every match, but it's just it was just a thought that crossed my mind. But I agree. I think they looked really good in this match. They looked better than I'd seen them, and it's probably a good opportunity for them to try lineups that they think they could go and invest in training if they think those lineups are going to go and get the job done.
Yeah.
Because I think Heidelberg is a team where you have to break the rules and figure out how to beat them, maybe unconventionally.
Yeah, this game might have been even more than round 18, little glimpses of Monash testing their upper limit of what they can get away with.
Because I did see some players.
You do have to go to some new
ideas.
You can't just stay with what's comfortable and what's in your bag. You have to test
something
else. And I reckon they probably still haven't shown their full hand.
I know the coach a little bit for the Monash, and I would suspect that he's got something up his sleeve that he's tempted or willing to train and bring to that gold medal match if they make it there. Or even to Yarra if they feel the need to run a system like that against Yarra. And I did see some players playing different positions in that game. But moving on, there's Yarra Eastside. Not a whole lot to talk about here. I think Yarra proved that they can go out and get it done. I will say the third set, Eastside almost got it done.
Eastside was at such good form for this third set, went 32-30.
Yeah.
Was there watching this from about the start of the third, and it was like it's proof that people can get up to that high level, so they can sustain it. But they were sustaining for it was perfect side out volleyball
For like
finish
10
for 10 points.
after 20 or
And
whatever
sort
it was.
of like that transition defense ball was some of the best I'd seen Eastside play this season. Yarra is maybe actually in a bit of an iffier spot than I thought. We can now sort of speculate on who's available because they may not have their go-to libero who's battling a bit of injury.
Well, they got the injury bug a bit like us. Like our main players don't have the injury bug, but some of Yarra's main players have got the injury.
I think the injury bug will be bandaged up for the next match. I think a few players are probably load managing this game because they're a little bit more comfortable in this matchup, like just with how it goes. That they did actually get to run a fair few younger guys through this team like in the end of the third set and just test how their future's going. And their future looked pretty good.
It's a good time because anyone who's, and like, this is tough because people play State League for a long time and they don't get to play finals. And that's just the way that State League is. But for anyone who's played in a final, the pressure just hits very, very differently. So being able to be 2 sets up and play some of your younger guys to get them through just the sheer nerves pressure
it does so
is
much.
really valuable.
Like actually someone that got very lucky with their State League clubs being able to come on in a grand final at 17 or whatnot and just do a role and just like
come on 5 points, 10 points and then go off. Like it's very, because you and I both did similar things early in our Renegades time and it's just like that helps so much with when you are the main guy that's called upon in a final because there's just nothing that quite compare except for AVL when you
don't know what your team might need. Like next week they might need one of those younger guys who blocked really well in this third set, like to come in and just be a blocker, or blocking set instead of their current setters. Like just have some more versatility, which can never go amiss. But this was a really good game. Really
3-0
high
doesn't
action.
quite do it justice. This was quite an entertaining game, but Yarra just had control. I think is probably the way to phrase it.
Yeah.
And then there was us.
Then we held up the court a little bit for an induction into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
No, the VV Life membership. We Gus Cirillo again, pat on the back for his volleyball career.
Yeah.
Shout out to any beach volleyballs that are still listening because we never mention, and it always goes under the radar, Gus's involvement in beach volleyball.
He like helped start the whole Vic Beach
Because
scene.
I remember I got told that when I was like still playing beach and indoor, and I was like, but when I come to Renegades indoor trainings, I get yelled at for playing beach volleyball.
He switched and he went all the way.
Because I used to miss the first 3 rounds of every State League season for National Tour, all these other things. But Gus used to be involved in I think he was involved in the Victorian government side of promoting beach volleyball, like getting it legislated and advocating for it. He's been around the sport for a long time, and that was a great little ceremony, just postponing our court a little bit, affecting our warm-up.
Nothing new there.
Nothing too big, yeah. The court's probably going to be postponed anyway. But we played Phantoms, the Renegades boys.
You go, this is, because I had a free-ish day until 6:30 p.m., which ended up being 7:30 p.m.
Yeah.
So I assisted as well, and is it? No, it's not the first time I've assisted you boys. I've been on the bench a few times. Yeah. This one was
probably could have used you on the court for a little bit. We can't do this again, what we did in this game, and we've been brutally honest with each other that we were not clean enough to begin the sets.
I would say the same. Yeah.
Sometimes we pin it a little bit on the third touch. I think we're pinning it on the first touch.
I think that is fair. I think from my point of view, there were times where the first touch was not good enough, but there were plenty of times where the third touch wasn't good enough either. But I think that this one was more of a mental barrier, I think, for us. Knowing that we had rolled through Phantoms last time is always... it's
just knowing, like, you kind of think it'll come out. And, like, credit to the Phantoms players that played out of their skin. Commentators gave them a lot of pats on the back. You know,
bit of glazing.
Maybe the commentary should have stayed off. But like Elliot Beck, like, because we're watching Scott Johnson, everyone knows, like, Phantoms, you play for him. He's really good. This is probably the best game he's played against us ever. Maybe.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if Scotty agrees, but we're probably his kryptonite in the sense that every time he plays us, he's lining up against either you or Liam, and it's like those are blocks. There's a two of not many blocks that can match his height. So we
have a good libero. We've historically had good liberos that play around our blocks.
So we end up shutting him down.
In previous years, he's probably had to sit behind Sando as well, which doesn't let you find your big rhythm. But he really found his rhythm as like the primary guy this game. Yeah. And it really freed up for Elliot Becks to just have an absolute offensive masterclass. Like he was hitting really
just
well.
Go and hit, yeah.
And that was what kept him up in that first set. I think they got to 11 points ahead.
Yeah, they were so far in front of us. I was like, I don't know how. And then I had some comments to say from our middles. And then we went through a really, really good middle block row. And we ended up matching them at 23 all, I think. Yeah. After being like 10. So I think we won 13 of 15 points.
And they did miss something. We should have. Actually, we wouldn't have lost. I would maybe still say we wouldn't have lost the first set, but we did get away with an out of rotation server.
You guys actually,
the team buzz cut. Noah Van Gemst and Liam Van Gemst are looking awfully similar these days.
They really are.
Noah got a roof block. I think that put us to 23, 22. I think it put us to 22 all maybe, or 23
and then goes
all.
back and serves.
And then goes back and serves, but it was not
Liam.
supposed to be him serving. And when he was behind the baseline, I noticed, and I was like, crap, because I had just served a fair few to get back in.
The other assistant coach and I both noticed, but I said, don't say anything because it's only if the score sheet notices. Yeah. They didn't notice. We won that point, and then I told Gus to make sure.
And I said, check server.
Yeah, and then I think we all figured it out.
Yeah.
But the Phantoms boys figured it out too, and they weren't happy.
Yeah.
But to be fair, well, it's not really fair, but to be fair, it is the score sheet's job.
And to be fair, you got away with 3 points that I hit off Scott into the antenna, all right?
And that weren't called, they
weren't called. And I know I was yelling antenna and there was a bit of banter.
Yeah, I did see that.
But I review the footage. Every single one of those was in my favour and I didn't get a single call.
That's fair. But we were out of row 2 other times in that game because in the second set, we got stuck in rotation 1 and we tried to do the thing where we put our left side attacker who's in position 2 on the left side and our opposite runs around. Our opposite didn't, it was the other opposite, didn't realize, set 3 must have been, didn't realize that's what we were doing. So we were very, very out of row for that one. Okay. And the second ref was sort of looking like, oh, they're out of row, but I don't really know where they're out of row.
Yeah.
We got lucky.
We found a bit of rhythm over the rest of the game. We dropped the third set, so it was a 3-1 win. But it was just like that final check that we've got to really polish those things up because we're now playing Heidelberg. To realistically, like everyone knows, they've got to look internally. I've got to fix my defense. It was pretty rubbish.
What's new?
At least, it was worse than usual, but I'll find my feet, hopefully.
One of the first jokes we made on the podcast was your defense. That was 9 months ago.
But it's good against Heidelberg.
I will say, to our credit, and this is both our biggest strength and our biggest weakness, is we play to the quality of the team we're up against regularly. So Phantoms don't quite have the depth or the talent that we do on paper, so we naturally dropped a little bit, I think, on the weekend. But I think we usually and regularly play our best against Heidelberg. Yeah. We are one of the few teams that have genuinely won against them. So I'm wondering, is this the time that we can maybe go and pull an upset?
It'll be a tough ask.
Yeah, we'll get to that in a bit.
We'll jump across to the women's preliminary finals.
This is you said it well. Very, very proud of you. We'll start with the 1v2. A game that does matter but doesn't matter.
Maybe it matters a little bit more on the women's side. You might prefer some of the matchups that you could get if you win this game.
I think because this game could have gone either way, it does matter a little bit more than it did in the men's side. Although in the men's side, Monash did prove it could go either way. So Yarra versus Dandenong, and Yarra won. I've copped a bit of flack from some of the Dandenong players throughout the season for saying that Yarra are a bit better than them, in my opinion. It's just my opinion, all right? You just got to get over it. But it is my opinion.
Just prove him wrong, please.
And you haven't
no, because I also like the Yarra people too, but I also like the Dandenong.
I like everyone as people, but I'm just saying that I think Yarra have more pieces of the puzzle, and they sort of proved it in this game. Dandenong were missing one of their main pieces, yes, but I think if you rely too much on that one piece, Yarra probably are good enough to shut them down.
But they traded sets, the first set going to Yarra, second set to Dandenong. And then from what I've heard and what I've seen sort of posted around is like, did you get to glimpse this game?
I did get to watch it a little bit.
The Yarra women just found their feet again and were running through 4 attackers and just looking really good offensively.
So the common theme that I heard from both teams from the like post-match summary from them is just that Yarra found their feet from the baseline really quick after the second set. And because the piece of the puzzle that Dandenong were missing is a main pass hitter. Yarra served their weaker passer and just tore them apart, which is what you would expect from a team with that many good servers from the baseline. So this one was 3-1. And I am wondering, just like, does Dandenong have any, like in the same way that we say, we think Monash might have like a Hail Mary sort of strategy going to the finals. I think Dandenong needs one and it needs to be a bit different to throw Yarra off, providing they get past the semis. I think they do have one. I can certainly think of an idea that I have for them, but I'm not their coach, so it's fine. But we do play with their coach, so maybe I'll let him know. No, but I think this was a good match. I saw some footage of it. I only caught the last set in person, but 3-1. Not super
Good game.
surprised.
We'll take you to the next game, which probably fell as the ladder would show. But it fell pretty fundamentally strong in Monash's favour. They played Cobras and won 3-0. This was just the 2 courts over before, so got to sort of
I actually watched this whole game.
Yeah.
I sat there and watched this whole.
I won't talk out my arse then, but I was going to just be like, I caught probably where it looked like Maroondah was on the uplift again, but it just felt like it's just a pretty big struggle to come back into a game like this after having a bit of a flatter middle portion.
Yeah, I think I said it on last week's podcast or in person to some people, but I think this goes one of 2 ways. This either goes to 5 and Cobras win because they've been to 5 every other time, or Monash comes and dominates. And that's kind of what we got. I don't think I've seen this Monash team play this well.
Yeah.
And this is a rare, and this is sort of the criticism of Monash throughout the year, is they will play lots of different lineups sort of as they see fit. This is the first time I think we saw their main lineup all 3 sets. And it was a combination of things that I haven't seen them do. Like they had a normal right side playing on the left side, and they had their other backup right side who's quite a young developing athlete who's very good on the right side. And they put on a clinic. Like I've never seen them play that well for that long. And it was, the word I would use is they suffocated Cobras out of the game. Like Cobras didn't have a chance until the 3rd set. They took it pretty well. I think it was like 21 all, but then Monash really took away with it. But talking to some of the other players, I think if Monash can find that again in a semi, I think whoever they're up against should be very worried.
Yeah.
It was some very, very high level, good volleyball coming out of that team right when they needed it. So it was really good.
Take us to the last game of the day that I thought, it was on the same time as I was playing and you were sitting on our bench, so we didn't really get to glimpse this.
I did watch the 5th set.
Until they kept this game going. I think I had actually just heard the noise that was going on over there.
This game went forever.
And had glimpsed that Heidelberg was up 2-0.
Yeah.
And I thought, it'll be a quick day. It'll be okay. Both courts will be finished fast. We dropped our 3rd set on our court and they dropped their 3rd set over there.
Jinxed it up.
Fell a bit further for them. They based on the score, they dropped that 3rd set by a decent amount. They won 25-22, 25-21, and then lost 25-15. And that must have shaken the confidence because they fell in the 4th as well. But then this section of the game that we got to catch a little bit after a quick team chat and get to go listen to the energy that's going over. You just went straight over.
Yeah.
And it is fine when you're up 2-0 to work yourself back into a game. And they looked a bit different in the 5th set.
They did. Didn't see the first 4 sets of this. Heard it from 2 courts down.
Yeah.
Didn't see it. My assumption is that this is defense versus defense. Both these teams very, very defense heavy. Heidelberg do have a couple more scoring options. I think, or you've said it a couple of times that like VFAM needs someone to go and score. Obviously, someone did because they went all the way to 5.
Yeah.
And I did see the 5th set, and I do think VFAM fumbled the ball a little bit right at the end.
Was there an injury in the 5th set?
It looked like there was, but I think it was from a middle that was actually getting libroed off anyway. So I'm not sure how. But I think I was trying to catch, and I remember seeing someone on the ground. Yeah,
but VFAM, I think they were in a relatively okay spot before they fumbled it, and I was like, "What's happened? Why have they been? What shook something?" And it was like, someone was like, I think there was an injury. Someone else, I didn't see the injury, and they were like, maybe they're missing someone.
Yeah, because from memory, I think VFAM were 13-10 up. And then Heidelberg clawed their way to 13 all and then went to 15-13.
Yeah.
So that's like a 5-point swing. Very impressive from Heidelberg to go and do that.
Yeah.
Very unfortunate for VFAM. I think they've worked really, really hard to be there. They have been quite unsuccessful versus VFAM versus Heidelberg throughout the season, but going to 5 is pretty good. And in that way, it was pretty cool. But yeah, unfortunate for them in the end.
Not bad. Good momentum into the semi-finals.
Yes. So we start with the sponsor for this week's episode. This episode is brought to you by Andor Financial.
Now, as some of you know, a good friend of ours, good friend of the show, and our Melbourne Uni Renegades captain, Michael Cirillo, has recently started his own mortgage broking business.
Not only this, but Mike and Andor Financial have committed to supporting and sponsoring Net Talk for the indefinite future.
If you didn't know, Mike has spent the last 10 years in the finance industry in both financial planning and mortgage broking roles, and is super passionate about empowering people to take control of their financial future.
So you, or if anyone you know is in need of a home loan or would like to review their current lending situation, reach out to Mike and Andor Financial.
You can find out more information in the footnotes or description down below.
Thank you again to Andor Financial for sponsoring Net Talk. And we're back. Start with the women.
Let's start with the one that will be broadcasted this week. So the men got broadcasted last week, and I believe this week the 2 women's matches will be broadcasted.
Yes.
Rolling on from that, so Monash gets to play the loser of 1v2, which is Dandenong. So that's the first game of the day, 12:30, Dandenong versus Monash. Think it'll be good. They'll need to sustain just like the power and the energy.
Yeah.
Actually, before we get into semi-finals, here's a bit of extra motivation for anyone playing a semi-final.
Okay.
If you lose, you've got to play a bronze medal match. And that's motivation because no one wants to do that. Or maybe people do, but...
You say that, and I don't agree. I think people do want to play bronze. It's just because we never used to do it. It's such a weird...
I'm just an old head. I'm just like, the league's changed.
Yeah. It's like, if I lose, I don't want to play next week.
Yeah. I was trying to think about it. I was like, every junior national
play for
state
bronze.
team, you play for bronze.
Yeah.
And you do really try, but that's like because you're like a junior. And I'm like, but now I've got one more week of training and I've got to play the bronze. Just give me the off season, straight into the off season.
You wonder why your juniors think you're 30, mate.
Push up. Damn it. So there's your motivation though. You'd much rather be playing for a gold than a bronze on...
Hey, but playing for bronze is still playing for bronze.
Yeah, still pretty good. But yeah, so that Dandenong Monash game will be the first game. It'll be...
Who do you think wins
high
this?
energy. If Monash plays like they were playing, I think I'll pick Dandenong. I'm kidding. They were actually amazing. They were playing really well. That would make it feel a lot better. My perspective of the Monash team has shifted since they lost a star player to go play overseas.
Yeah, same.
And they have filled that gap really, really well with other players that have played international now at World Uni Games, have come back and picked up the load and have shown that they're that caliber as well. So they could potentially cause an upset here. I think Dandenong, if their players fire, if they have all their players turn up and do what they're supposed to, they'll be okay.
I think that was really funny. I think if Monash can play like they did against Cobras, I think they will dominate. But I think Dandenong will not be anywhere near as easy as Cobras. Like I think Monash were able to play the way they were playing because Cobras weren't serving particularly hard because of the deficit of the points that they were already in. Yeah. I think Dandenong is not the same. I think Dandenong win this. I
Yeah,
think
they've
Dandenong.
got really good transition volleyball play as well, which I think
You got Lou and Roshi on the other side of the net. I think you're not going to have an easy.
a harder.
I think you're not going to be able to score as easily as you did against Cobras potentially. And I think maybe with the youth, even though it's raw talent on the Monash side, seriously, raw talent. I don't know if they. I don't know. I'm 50-50. Maybe a little bit more Dandenong this time. I think maybe Dandenong can do it.
And the next game of the day at 2:30, the Yarra women play Heidelberg. So Heidelberg had a really hard fought semi-final, as we spoke about, to get this far. And this is going to be even harder.
Yeah,
So
this is going to be a lot harder.
really a steep challenge, but this is a time when you can upset a team. It's now single chance. Doesn't matter, you know.
And the
what's
pressure's on.
happened, and the pressure's on. But if you turn up and you perform, you can do it. But it's a tough ask. This is reaching into bags that I don't know are there. Like you've got to find stuff that you haven't done yet, and you've got to find that next. I was going to say 10%, but against Yarra, you're finding the next 100%. You've got to double yourself as a player, which some players no doubt can do that. Players are different in finals. They show up and when you're called upon to do something, you can find it, but you're going to have to sustain that for a full match.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if Heidelberg can find that next gear and sustain it, maybe they've got a really good chance.
Which is the hard thing. Like people can do it for a set or two
we see that
experienced in finals.
We see that time and time again, both in finals and with new teams in Prems as well. Like they can sustain it for a set and then after that it falls off. So it's like if Heidelberg can sustain 3 sets of that next gear, they've got a genuine chance against Yarra. I think Yarra have just got to play the way they've been playing. Don't overthink it. And I think they'll be fine.
Just
I
keep
think
finishing points.
they've just got the depth and they've got the experience.
I don't think they need to reach too far beyond their bag. They've just got to do that at 100% and they'll be fine.
And I think Yarra need, when I say don't overthink, I think they need to not be rattled when Heidelberg come out really hot in the first set. I almost think you can toss up the fact that Heidelberg will come out extremely hot in that first set. They'll
we
probably
were rattled
take
against
it.
Phantoms. The rattling happens. You've got to be able to shake it off.
And you're going to be able to respond. I think that's almost not a guarantee, but that's highly likely. And then Yarra finds their groove, finds their comfort, and then it's their show.
Yeah, they've got players that are comfortable enough in those situations and experienced enough that it'll be a tough ask.
But these are 2 seriously awesome finals to go and watch.
And it'll be good that these are being broadcast on the YouTube, you know?
But you should get down there. Show court, 12:30, 2:30. Get down there. It's good atmosphere. It's finals time. Over to the men's. Starting first, 12:30 on the other side of Dandenong, as in the other court. Monash and Yarra. Ooh, this is an interesting one. Who do you reckon?
I still really back Monash's top end talent. It's really, really good. I think they've been a little shaky over the last couple of weeks. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
That they've had to make a few more changes because a few people have struggled against certain matchups. And Yarra is a really good blocking team. But I want to know how their injury bug is going.
Yeah.
Who's there? They're playing without a few guys. If they're missing those, then I think they're in a tough situation.
Even if I think I have to back Monash here only because if Yarra was at full strength and they were at full strength for the last 4 weeks and could play together as a team for those games, they would have this would be a hell of a game. But Yarra with the injury bug, even if those players come back, you're not game fit. You know what I mean? When you haven't played with the team, you're not as well oiled as Monash will be. However, that being said, Yarra they're known to find it when they need to find it. But I do think Monash is a tough beast.
Yeah.
Especially at this time. And they're going into this match with the confidence that they almost took Heidelberg to 5. So they're probably feeling pretty good. I'm assuming. Just assuming.
What a pat on the back.
Good pat on the back for the boys. So this one, I think I got to go Monash, but I think it'll be a really good match.
Yeah.
And then there's us.
And the next one, don't even need to talk about. One-sided win by the Renegades coming this Saturday. 3-0.
You said it's happened before. I'm just saying.
Not in the finals. Not in State League finals.
Yeah,
it hasn't happened since a Warrnambool finals.
The last time we played them that wasn't in the grand final, I think they walloped us big time. That was a quarter final a few years ago, I think.
I was thinking, like the finals pressure. Yeah, 2 years ago we lost to them in the quarterfinal when they eventually won against Monash. That was really tough. That was a real shaky second half of the season from us, from Renegades, where we had a bit of a shaky second half, not much consistency in the guys, and we felt it. We've spoken about that season. Yeah. Then we rolled into the new season. Last year was a really good year. This year we had a bit of a shaky first half of the season, just with injuries and players missing and finding new ways to work with new guys. And I think we've had a bit more of a stronger second half of the season, at least over the first. Probably not as clear and clean as last season, which is why we're in the position where we have to play them in a semi-final.
But I think, that being said, because we went through that phase, which all teams go through the phase. Monash went through that phase 2 years ago. Yarra sort of going through that phase now, where it's like you got to play your new guys a bit more, get those connections so that you've got depth. Because if we didn't do that, I think we don't have as much depth, which we pride ourselves as traditionally being a team that has a lot of depth. However, that being said, this is a game where it's like, how much can we go to depth and how much do we need to rely on the 7 guys that are on the court against a team like Heidelberg, who they just have 7-8 guys they rely on.
I think for these games, like as a player on this team, we're not treating it as going for depth. We're treating it as everyone that's on court is the 7.
Yeah.
Right? That might change. I might get swapped. That's fine. Next person up is 7. One of our pass hitters might get swapped for chunks. That's fine. You're now in the 7. Like it's not treating it like sustain it until that guy can come back on. It's whoever's there is pushing.
Is there to win.
Because this will be a tough matchup against Heidelberg. We need to make sure our first touch is clean. We need to be prepped for attackers and shift them away from
their main
2 primary attackers. They now have more options outside of the 2 primary attackers that they've had in previous years, but we have options too.
I will say, out of the teams in State League that could beat this team, it's probably us and Monash the most. We've done it before. I don't think Monash have gotten over that hurdle yet. So we know how to beat this team. It's just we've just got to go and do it. And this is why we really enjoy having the Heidelberg guys in the league since they joined a couple of years back, where it's like they force you to find your extra gear. Even a team as us, who is experienced as us and experienced as Monash and the other teams that have been in finals for many years, it's like you have to find that gear and then you have to sustain it. And that's the hard part. Every good team can find that extra gear, but like how long can you find that extra gear? The last time we beat them, we were in that extra gear for 3 sets. I don't know if we've found that one since.
Or last regular season, we were in the gear for 3 sets as well. And then, but like that is our grand final. I'm going to have to give it a rewatch before this game as well. Get yourself mentally prepped.
Yeah.
It was different players fading in and out.
Yeah.
I had a pretty good 3 sets, maybe. I'd say I had a good 3 sets. Other players had a good 3 sets. They just weren't the same 3 sets.
Yeah.
So like when you push to 5, it was the difficulty of the time of the match. This is an afternoon game.
Yeah.
We're all right.
We thrive in the 2:30s time slot, I think.
Do we?
Well, last time we did really well at finals, we had Subway for lunch. got bloated right before the grand final.
A steak and cheese sub.
Yeah.
I won't have a steak and cheese footlong, and I won't need a nap either.
Maybe you should though. Like that last time you did, we won.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I won't need the nap because I'll get the sleep in because my boys aren't playing.
I think you can bet both these matches will be really good.
Yeah.
Again, 2:30 and 12:30 at Dandenong.
Yeah. Really
Court 13.
Really good top 4s, like essential top 4s.
As you would expect.
In the semi-final. It's really good. I think the quality of these top 4 finals has only improved over the last few years.
This is, and I think you can speak to how good the quality has gotten because this is, you could really see anyone making it. Like, yes, Heidelberg is the scariest of all 4 on the men's side and Yarra the scariest of the 4 on the women's side. But you could see a version where Heidelberg get the better of Yarra. And you can see a version where we get the better of Heidelberg. I can at least, now that I'm not playing. But you could see it. Like, it's plausible enough where it's like, unlike previous years where they're in semis, it has been a very, very clear cut. Like, and then it's just not particularly like who could win. Whereas this year, and maybe the last year as well, it was very much this is very high quality, very good. So
Yeah.
it speaks volumes to where the league is now, I think.
You got to beat them at some point. So let's just
do it.
turn up to play and let us know how you're going. I think there's a few people still through finals in our Discord and out there listening.
There's a few. Prem 2 finals have got semis as well.
Yeah. Well, every league has a
it's
bronze
all-
medal match. So that's a good addition. I think last year it was just the Prem leagues that had bronzes. And
no.
No, every league
I
had
think-
bronzes
I think
last
every-
year as well.
every-
But that's a good addition. So let us know
I
how
like
you
it.
go if you end up grabbing a medal, whatever division you're in,
Share it
however
with
you're
us.
going, share it with us. Come to the game at 2:30 and heckle. Tell that
Not us, though.
old opposite that his haircut's bad.
You already know it. You don't need to be told.
Fuck.
All right. Thanks for listening in. We'll see you all there on Saturday.
Bye.